Alrighty, y'all. Good morning, good afternoon, good whenever or wherever you are. So as the title suggests, I was laid off yesterday, so just want to kind of clear the air about that. Also, I just want to say thank you all for whoever stopped by, whoever watches after the fact. So good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever time it is for y'all. I appreciate you. So it looks like last time we left off, it was we are working on the back end, and it looks like we got posts and everything working. Unfortunately, because of our H2, we gotta throw the whatever it's called. We gotta throw the footer on the end of all of these. But it looks like we should be able to grab post if we say slash footer slash posts. Obviously there's nothing, so let's go ahead and log in real quick. So let's just run through the setup again and we'll figure it out. So let's go ahead and log in. We'll log in to slash footer slash auth. Also, I wanted to mention real quick, there's something else I wanted to mention. I'm going to be making a video about everything that went down and making a video about like my tech journey basically. But also, if you're watching this, you should hopefully notice that there's now a channel membership. I'm going to make an official announcement and everything, but everyone that joins the channel or becomes a member of the channel gets access to the private repo, which holds Let's Build Twitter. It's also, members are also going to get access, I guess maybe specific tiers or something. I might make a special tier, but there's going to be new tutorials and stuff like that coming out. So being a member is also going to get you access to code for those tutorials. Otherwise, you're just going to kind of follow along. So that's something I'll have to keep in mind. But of course, I am going to go ahead and make an announcement about the membership and getting access to Let's Build Twitter. So that's going to be the main thing, is that you're going to get public or access to the private repository, and you'll also get to watch the videos as soon as I upload them, because I upload them and schedule them. So I'll try to start uploading them as far out as possible, and then people can start watching them as early as possible. Let's go ahead and log in and get ourselves a JWT token. Alright, there's our token. Now we should be able to make a post. So we go into slash post slash and put in our authorization token. And it won't reset all the time whenever we're not restarting. Oh, I forgot to put footer in here. Footer slash post slash to a post request, and we're testing our posts. And now if we get all posts, you see there's a post ID 3, and cool, it's even got the user in there. Now I did find a pretty good tutorial or a pretty good article about adding like multi-part files and stuff, so I think that's something we're going to work on today. And there's something else on my list. My list said to set up exception handling. So I need to go through and figure out what exceptions I might be expecting. So it doesn't find it. Okay, so yeah, we can go and do the exception handling. And then we can also figure out the multi-part file. And then I guess it's back to the front end. Oh yeah, I also want to set up configuration. So I'm going to say this one is 10. I also want to set up configuration to be able to view a post wherever. So set up config to view a post by ID without being logged in. Because that's something that you could technically do on Twitter, is you can view posts without being logged in. So I definitely want to, set that up as well. So let's go ahead and do the exception handling. Let's pop open our code here. And let's go into our post service. I'm assuming is where this is going to be at. Okay. So save each photo to the correct place. Okay, we still need to look at how to get those photos. And honestly, we probably didn't even need to we'll figure out how to do the photo part. It's probably not going to be done in the post service. It's probably going to get passed to the image service, and then we'll set the photos somehow. I'm not sure how this is going to work. We'll figure it out. Because technically the photos aren't going to actually come in an array of photo objects. It's going to come in as, I don't even know what, basically multi-part files. So what we're going to do, I guess, is we need to create a custom exception for if the post was not able to be created, and we should also set up an exception if this guy doesn't exist. And then I'm not worried about the author one. I mean, maybe if the author doesn't exist, but the author doesn't exist and you try to find some post by them, it's just going to return an empty list, so that's not a big deal either. So I don't think that part is going to break anything, but we can definitely set up an exception for unable to create post and something else. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll go into our source main Java and our exceptions. So I'll go and make a new class, and I'll call this unable to create post exception. I don't think I created an unable to create user, but it is what it is. So this will, I think I've been creating runtime exceptions, so I'll go ahead and just do the same thing, runtime exception, and we'll go ahead and make a public unable to create post exception. So the good thing about being laid off is now I can basically make whatever content I want, as long as I obviously don't just steal content from my old work. So I have a unable to create a post at this time. So I'm gonna start looking at making a full stack course with Java, and I'm gonna take basically everything that I learned and put it all into one massive course. I think I want to build a course platform for it to basically sell it, because this is going to be years and years of basically hard work, research, development, and everything on this course because of all the time I spent. So unfortunately, probably not going to give it away for free, but it's going to be a massive course, probably like, I don't know, I'd say probably 40 plus hours of content. So I'll need to price it accordingly and everything, but keep an eye out for that. I also have a tutorial coming up. Hopefully I can finish the code this week now that I have time. I'm still obviously going to be applying to jobs and whatnot, but a lot of stuff coming. And again, I want to try to make a whole video outlining everything that I'm going to try to do. So we'll see. So now we'll go ahead and make a, I think we also need an unable to find post. Yeah, so I'm going to also say, I could say post does not exist exception. That's what I might do. So I'll go ahead and say post does not exist exception. And if this one is thrown, then we'll like return a 404 or something. We'll do extends runtime exception, and we'll go ahead and just make a public post does not exist exception, and this one will just take in a super with the message saying the post you are looking, or the post requested, does not exist. And then we can also add the UUID, that's fine, or the serial ID. Alright, so there is that. Hopefully the music is fine and everything. I probably should have watched the last video to make sure the music wasn't too loud. But okay. So there is our exceptions. So what we'll go ahead and do is here, if there's some error or something, and I don't know why I wrapped it in this. Does this actually return an exception? Does this actually throw? It does throw in the case that the entity is null. I don't remember the other ones throwing anything, but Oh well. So here, instead of returning null, we'll just throw a new, and this is unable to create post exception, like so. Oops. And we'll go ahead and import that, and then we can handle that exception inside of our handler. And then also here we're gonna say dot or else throw, and we're gonna throw a new, and I don't remember which way it goes. I think it's do, and this is a post does not exist exception, and it'll be new. We need to go ahead and import that. Right, cool. So now if we don't find the post because it doesn't exist whatsoever, we'll go ahead and throw a new exception. So we can go ahead and throw let's see here. So number 8 will be create D, and I forgot what this was called already. So this is the unable to create post exception. So we'll say create the unable to create post exception, and this will be Java. We'll grab the unable to create post exception, super simple, and we'll do the same thing for number 9. Number 9, now it's create the post does not exist exception, and this one is also Java. And let's grab the post does not exist. So let's see here. I want to disable H2 or something for, I just realized that all my front end's gonna be broken. Dang it. Okay, so now we'll do our post does not exist exception. That's gonna be a pain. All right, now we're gonna say use the exceptions, or I'm gonna say throw the exceptions in the service class. And I'm probably just gonna grab the methods that I actually throw them in. So we're gonna throw these in the create post method. So grab that, and then we're gonna also throw it in the, come back in here, we're gonna throw it in the get post by ID. All right, cool. So let's fix this because this is scuffed. But now we can actually set up the handling for the exceptions, which are pretty simple. It's gonna be exception handlers inside the controller. And we'll do this. We'll make this look at least a little bit nicer. All right, cool. So now we can go ahead and number 11, set up the error handlers in the controller. And this will be pretty simple as well. So now we just gotta go in here, go to our post controller, and let's see. So the first one that might throw in is this one. So I'm gonna say at exception handler, and then I forget how this part works. I think you just do like this, and then you say this is going to be unable to create post exception dot class. It's been too long since I've wrote Java code. We've been doing all this code in React, and this will just be a public response entity of a string, I suppose, and we'll just say handle unable to create post, and then I'll see how bad I messed up the exception handler. It might have to say like exception, but I think. Okay, let's take a look at the other controllers because I forget how to set this up. So auth controller. Oh no, I did it right. Exception handler email already exists .class. So you're just being dumb and not importing this, right? All right, cool. So now we just need to return a new response entity. Well, I don't know why I put a there, but return new response entity of type string, and then I'm just gonna say unable to create post at this time, and we're gonna have an HTTP status of 500. So let's see if there's just server. I don't want service. I just want a 500 error. I need to look up. Let's see what the 500 error for HTTP status is. HTTP. Whoops. Let's go make a new tab and say HTTP status enum for 500. Oh, it's internal, so let's try that. Dot internal. There we go. So this one will just throw a generic 500 error because hey, we can't get that. And then this one at exception handler. This one will be a post does not exist exception.class, and this will be a public response entity of a string, and we'll say handle post does not exist. And here we'll go ahead and we need to import this one, obviously, otherwise it's going to yell at us. And here we'll return a new response entity of type string, and this is going to say post does not exist, and this one will be HTTP status of not found. This one will be a 404. Well, I got laid off yesterday, unfortunately, so good news is that I can make whatever videos I want and I have a little bit more time to record and stream for the time being. Bad news is that obviously I don't have a job, so don't worry, I'm still applying and everything. It's 6 a.m. in the morning, so around 9 o'clock I'm probably going to start applying and looking for stuff, but you can only do so much. So fingers crossed I'm not unemployed for too long, but it is what it is. My company is, well, my ex-company, and I'm going to talk about it in a video, but they're not doing too hot right now, so I don't want to be too negative about them. I loved all the people I worked with. Hopefully they can stay afloat, but I'm not even sure that they'll be able to do that because things are not great for them right now. But we got that, so this looks good. So now we got all that set up. So now let's go ahead and try to set up the config to allow us to view post by an ID without being logged in. So we come back into our security configuration. We should be able to basically say like .mvc matchers, and then say like slash, and then post, whoops, slash, and then ID or something like that, and then say .permit all. I appreciate you. My company had gone through several rounds of layoffs basically, and this was the 4th one, so things are not looking great. The previous rounds, people got jobs pretty quickly. We'll see about this one because right now the job market is not great, so We'll see what happens, but fingers crossed. So I think that I'm gonna need to make another post to test this. So let's go ahead and log in. Oh, make sure we put footer on this. It's kind of annoying that I gotta do this to get H2 to work. I should really try to get H2 connected to my dbeaver, and I might do that in the next, like, in between videos here, or in between live streams. I don't want to spend a bunch of time tinkering with it. So we should be able to create a post with this bear token, paste, and this has a token, so send. Oop, I need to add footer again, and send that. So now it's ID 3. So basically what I want to try to be able to do is copy this ID, go to post/ID, and have no auth. So, oh, okay, footer /post ID 3. Okay, I still got 401 unauthorized, so I might need to do a little bit more research on how to get this to work. And let's see, so it should be post/, oh, it's actually post/ID/ID. So I'm gonna say post/ID /** and see what happens. We want that one to permit everyone for using it. I'm also curious, even though our server restarted, am I still logged in? Can I still make a post? Okay, I can. So I don't have to keep repasting those. That's cool. Alright, so no auth. Cool. So we can view an individual post, no problem. All we gotta do is just add a permit all to this, and that's perfectly fine. That's what I want. I want us to be able to view one specific post. This is going actually fairly well this morning, so that's pretty cool. Alright, so now 13. Figure out the file upload for images. So I actually have a article that I found yesterday or Tuesday. We're gonna go through the article and try to figure out how we can get this to work and see if we can get images stored. We should have like an IMG folder or something inside of here. Yeah, so IMG, and this just has like my profile picture that I always use. So what we're gonna do now is go into here, and I'm gonna grab the link that I found. Probably gonna get blinded. So this is an article that I found. So this basically walks us through adding multi-part inside of a controller. And it can actually be a list of, well, never mind, it's just a list multi-part. I don't know if that means you can have multiple or not, but and I wonder if you can have a list of multi-part lists. So that's something we'll have to figure out. So I'm gonna try to start setting up our upload, or like our image like this, and our post mapping. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move it to the side, and I'm gonna start modifying our post service create, or not post service create, our post controller create, and see if we can't get the object, or not the object, but the file out of that and stuff like that. And it looks like, okay, you can have multiple files with that. Okay, cool. So this might be a little bit easier than I had thought. We'll see though. So inside of our create, we're gonna set up a couple things. So we're gonna go ahead and add consumes on here. Consumes equal to, and this is going to be one of these, and we need a comma here. So we're going to consume in media type dot application underscore JSON underscore value, and then we're also going to have a media type of dot multi-part form data. What do you not like about that? Let's see. At post mapping to slash, it consumes media type. Let's see what this error is. Cannot. Doesn't need a semicolon though. So value. Oh, it's because we have to have value whenever we do this. Okay. So value is equal to slash. And then something's still wrong with media type. So what is wrong with media type? Did I spell something wrong? Media type dot multi-part form value. Okay, I forgot the value part. Okay, so now we can pass in JSON and multi-part data, I believe, at this point. So what we got to do now is actually do something with it. So that means that inside of our post service, we're gonna need to set some. Well, first we need to set a couple things up. So now instead of request body, this needs to say at request part. Whoops. Request part, and this part is going to be post, and then we need to do comma, and then we need our at request part, and this is, I guess I'm just going to call this media, and then this will be list of multi-part file. I'm going to call this files. Let's go ahead and import this. So the goal would be to take the post DTO and create the post and take the files, upload them, and return them in the post. So what we might need to do is we might need to update our post service to take in a list of multi-part files instead of gosh, my brain. We're gonna have to probably, instead of just taking in a post, what I'm trying to say is take in multi-part files and then also call the post service, or not the post service, the image service to do that. So we'll figure that out. So they're using just object mapper from Jackson, it looks like, and we probably don't have to do all of this. We probably do one of these. So I could probably say post JSON, and I mean technically it should probably be done in the user service and the post service. So what we'll do is we'll do this, and in the post service what we'll do is in create post, instead of taking, and this needs to be a string now, right? Instead of yeah, so in the post controller, post is now going to be a string, and this is going to break everything obviously, but we'll fix it. So inside of post service, and I guess I can go ahead and paste this in there. So copy this. So 13, modify the post controller method for creating to accept JSON and multi-part. Okay. And then now 14, set up the post service to take in the string and multi-part files. So now inside of here, what we'll do in our post service, now this is going to take in a string post. It'll actually be like a post DTO, string post, and a list of multi-part files. Let me double check how I did this. Was it literally multi-part file? Yes, list of multi-part files. Okay, so what we're gonna have to do here is I'm gonna comment this out for the time being. So we're gonna need the image service, image service, and I need to make these final. So I haven't been making these final, private final, and private final, and we'll go ahead and throw it in here. So image service, image service, and we'll say this dot image service is equal to image service. All right, so now what we're going to want to do is we need to go ahead and create the post DTO. So post DTO, and I don't know if I did this all uppercase or not. Let's look at our DTOs. How do I make these? Okay, create post DTO. DTO is equal to, and we're gonna say a new, I don't know, well, okay, new create post DTO. I don't know why they do it like this, but it is what it is. We might need to try catch this, and we might need another new exception. We're going to say object mapper, object mapper. We probably could have made this a bean as well, but oh well. And it might not hurt to make it a bean and just inject it. I'll think about it. Go ahead and grab that from Jackson. And then we're going to go ahead and say DTO is equal to a object mapper dot read value. And this is going to take in our post that we got. And this is going to make a create post DTO class. Then our create post DTO can probably change because now we're not going to include the image in the actual create post DTO. And I don't know if this actually throws an exception. Does it? I guess it does throw several exceptions. So I'll catch and I'll say I'll just put in exception E because it has a whole bunch of different exceptions that could throw, and we'll throw that. Okay, so there is that. Now, of course, it's complaining because it doesn't return anything. So I'm going to go ahead and just say return a new post for now. Then it'll get over itself. Cool. So now we got our, hopefully we got our post DTO here. And if we want to, you can actually check that this works with a system.out.println, and then we can throw post in there. And of course, it's not going to return anything. And it's also not saving anything, but we can at least, take a look at it. So this will be post, and this will be files. We can save that. And what we can go and do is go back into here, and from what I remember, we can just do this. It's not going to return anything. Ooh. 500, failed to parse. Is it because I didn't actually pass anything, or do I need to say form data? I might have to say form data and then say user, or actually it's post, and then do this ugly thing right here. So go back to my raw JSON, and I might even have to put this, oh, it's okay, I think it's okay like this. So copy this, and we're gonna go into form data, post, and paste in this whole ugly mess. And I think that might be why it broke. 400, media is not present. Okay, so we have to have media. So I'll put media, and then I'll say, how do we do this? I forget how we make this a, how do we make this? Oh, we have to say file, select files, and then let's say that we want these two images. We have two files selected. Of course, it says null, but we should see it printed out and it got the author, the user ID, replies, scheduled, yada, yada, yada. So it got all the information. It didn't have the images, which is fine because we're going to do that on the side anyway. So that actually is working better than I had hoped, more or less. So that's good. So now what we'd want to do is go back to our post service. So that was just printing out the post that we got. Although I wanted to print out the DTO, not the post. So let me fix that. I want to see what the DTO looks like. So let's run this again. I did a goof there. So the DTO object has everything other than user ID is null, but that doesn't matter because guess what? We can search the user by their ID. And let's see, scheduled false, audience everyone. I think that's basically everything we actually need. We don't really need the images in there, so that's good. So now what we can also do is inside the service, we can also, I guess, get the file count. So make sure that we know how many there are. So let's do that as well. So what we'll go ahead and do is we can say int. And we'll need this probably to upload all the images. Int file count is equal to file.size. And actually what we'll probably do is a files.size. What we'll probably do is, since it's a list, is we'll probably actually do some form of arrow function or something and call the function or the method for saving the images, but we'll get that in a second. Now it's system.out.println. Make sure that it says that we have two files in here, because we should in fact have two files in here. If we come back to Postman, we have two files selected. We hit enter and it says we have two files. All right, so we have our two files and we have our post object. So if we wanted to, we could go ahead and say post created is equal to a new post. And what we could do is, I forget what our post needs. So it needs all of this stuff. I could just copy this, I suppose. So go ahead and create a new post. And now this is going to be just DTO. And DTO. So now we need to upload the images and set the images on the post. Okay, so it's been a minute since I messed with the images. So let's see here. Let's go to our image service. So we just want to upload image to file system, I'm pretty sure, and we have the multi-part file and the prefix. Okay, well that's pretty simple, I suppose. Do we need to get the image type for anything? Or do I just call that in here? Might be fine. So this just needs a prefix. So I'll probably just set the prefix to probably just be like post dash whatever the name or whatever the ID of the post is or something. So what we need to do is we need to go through each file, and then we need to, I guess, put those files into an array list and then do that. So I guess inside of our post service, we'll say a list of image equal to, in the post service, does that actually store them on the database as well? Image service. Yes, it does save the image object. Okay. List of image, post images. And this is probably gonna need to change if we do add videos, but we can do that at a later date. So images equal to a new array list like so. And I'm sure what we could do is like files dot for each, and then say file like that. For each file we can do something. Give me one moment, I need to run to the bathroom real quick. Alright y'all, sorry about that, I'm back. I'm gonna try to get this finished up, but we might have to end a little bit early on this stream because the baby's starting to stir a little bit, and I'm gonna have to get up and get her. So what we're gonna go and do is, I suppose, I don't know what I'm gonna do for the prefix. So maybe a for each might not be the best here. But what I was thinking we do is for each file basically say like image service dot and then upload image, and we have our file, and then this will be basically, I guess we don't have a post ID, do we? Shoot, we kind of need like a random ID. So it's gonna be like post dash, and then we could do like the date maybe, and then a random number or something. So let's see, let's make a, so I'm terrible with this, we'll say Java random, random, maybe like 5-digit character string, sure. Let's see here. That works. Thank you, Baldung, I appreciate you. So we'll go ahead and just generate a random string. So we'll go ahead and say new random, and we'll say prefix is equal to this, and then I guess we'll grab the char set, and I'm guessing it comes from Neo. Now we'll say how do I want to do this, because I want to say like maybe to do prefix is equal to p dash plus prefix. So we'll say post dash and then a random thing. We'll throw a prefix in here. So what's the problem? Just run and try catch. And here I'll just throw an unable to save photo exception, which I guess is not a runtime exception. So now this can throw this, throw new, and this can get handled. What is your deal? Does it need a message? Shouldn't need a message, does it? Unable to save the photo? Or is it just being dumb? No, it's just being stupid for some reason. Why can you not throw this? Unhandled exception. Okay, well, guess what? We'll just say throws. We'll just say throws unable to save photo exception then. And we'll propagate that down. I don't know why it was making... No, it's not it either. It is handled because I put it up here. Okay, I don't know what this problem is. I'm not sure why it can't handle this. Unless it's because it's inside of a for each loop or something strange. But what if we copy this and say it throws this, it throw that, and then we just get rid of the try catch. Unless it has something to do with might have something to do with this whole like. So let's try it without this, I guess. So we'll just say I didn't want to use it for a loop, but for int I equals 0, I is less than what was this, files dot size I plus plus. If it's gonna be stupid, then I'm gonna do it this way, I guess. I don't really feel like fighting it, and this will be files dot get I. Yeah, it must have something to do with the lambda function. I guess that kind of makes sense. I don't use lambda functions probably as much as I should, so it is what it is. So now we should go through each of the image services and upload that image. And does this return an image object? It does. So let's go ahead and say post, I'll just say image I is equal to image service blah blah blah. Oh, we can't say it. We'll say image post image, and then we'll say post images dot add, and we'll add that post image. So then we'll go through and do all that, and then after we add all of those, it could be empty or it might not. We can say p.set images to those post images, and then we'll return p. Whoops, not new p, return p. So theoretically, that should work. So now we need to handle the other exception that we might possibly throw. So we'll deal with that in a second. But let's go ahead and copy this and put it in here. So now our post service should be able to handle multi-part files and hopefully upload images. Obviously, we need to figure out how to get this all to work on our front end code. But what this should do is create a random prefix with p starting, create the images, and then if there's an issue, we'll go ahead and throw an exception basically. All right, and now we need to deal with the exception. So now we need to go ahead and 15 specify the post controller create post method might throw an exception. and that is just the unable to save photo exception. So if we go back into, let me make sure my mic's unmuted, cool. So if we go back into here, and let's save this, and then go into post controller. Basically all we gotta do is add a throws declaration to the top here, because we already have a handler in the image controller. So throws, and this is gonna throws an unable to save image exception or something like that. Is this what it's right? Is this what it's called? That one. So theoretically, this should, fingers crossed, save an image, or we're gonna have to do a bunch of debugging. But let's go ahead and try to make a post and give an image and all of that stuff. And then we can also check the H2 database. So if we go to http://localhost:8000/ and I think we have to say footer/h2-console, which I'm going to try to get rid of the H2 console and connect to it on dbeaver. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I shouldn't put a dash in the P, but it is what it is. And maybe I should have called it post. That way I know what it is, but again, it doesn't really matter all that much. What was I gonna do? Oh, I was gonna go into source main Java application properties and grab this guy. It's just SA and password. Okay, so images should be empty right now. We don't have any images. So fingers crossed, whenever we go into Postman, let's just do one file to start. So we'll go ahead and say, let's grab this file. We got a post, testing our posts, and fingers crossed. Okay, let's see what the error was. I was worried about something like this happening. Unable to create posts at this time. Doesn't actually tell me anything. So post service. So which part of this failed? It's because we catch any exception. So let's e.print stack trace. Trying to think of what might be broken with the image service. Unless a file isn't proper or something, but we have an authorization token and everything. Wait, that one just worked. That one, I don't understand why that one just worked, but the other one didn't. Interesting. We have 2 PFPs now. Not sure why we have 2 PFPs, but okay. And it's working. Maybe we don't want UTF-8. What other char sets do we have? Let's see. Because this one has a bunch of stuff that it can't actually do. So let's see. Java char sets. I just want like ASCII, basically. There's ASCII, ISO, 7 bits, basic Latin block for the Unicode character set. I'm gonna try US ASCII and see if it gives me those weird things, that symbols that it can't view. So instead of UTF-8, we're gonna try this US ASCII, and I'm gonna go ahead and say post dash here, anything I change, I'll post in there. Make sure, okay, this is just behind. I was gonna say, make sure it doesn't say I'm still on break. So let's try this. And I don't know why. I'm kind of also concerned that this made an extra profile picture, but also I could have uploaded a profile picture the other day and I forgot about it. Let's try to create a post. I don't know if I just like did something wrong last time or what. Although I'm kind of concerned because that says, oh, you know what? I never even actually saved the post. I just return it. So let's go ahead and say, we need to go ahead and return post repo dot save. Never actually saved the post, so that's also not good. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. We'll actually save the post as well. Okay, so hopefully this isn't some weird thing where it's just gonna randomly break all the time. Okay, it posted it. And it still has random stuff that we can't read, so that's terrific. I wonder what those symbols are. If we refresh, we get the post. It's working. Let's check our H2. We gotta pass, log back in, connect, and images. And yeah, okay, so we need to figure out how to shoot. We need a prefix of only like alphanumerics, basically. So let's go back to Baodong. Let's see, Java generate random string of alphanumerics. I don't want these random ones. I mean, this will technically work, but that is kind of gross. I don't really want to deal with I mean, this one could technically work, but I don't want to create a whole class for that. This one says a UUID. But how long is that though? I don't want a super long one. We could do something stupid like this, where we just have a utility class for generating a random string, I guess. I don't know where this random, it comes from Apache, I'm not installing that. Because this works, but alphabetic string alphanumeric it looks like we're leaning towards setting up a util class. Do we have utils? We have config. I mean, I could set up in the how do I do it inside of the user service or the auth service? That's probably where I'm doing it at, but I'm not sure. Follow user, retrieve follower list. Is it not in here? Or do I just call, let's see, it might be whenever I register. No, here. So, how do I generate, or does it just generate it on its own, I wonder? This one just says PFP. Let's look at our image service a little bit closer. Maybe I'm stupid and I already create a random... Oh, you know what? The temp file already adds random letters and numbers, doesn't it? So we can just say post, and that will do it, I think. I don't think we even need to do all that stuff that I'm thinking of. So in post service, we can literally just say post equals the prefix, and it should just put the post on there. We need to figure out how we can only allow like 4. I think that's going to be on the front end, only allowing 4 pieces of media. Okay, so now it's another one of those errors where it just... Let's see what this error is. Unable to save an image service. Okay, so what's the actual problem? I didn't do it to image folder, did I? No. I'm gonna delete this. Make sure it didn't actually create it and it's just being dumb. Okay, I didn't create it. So I want to figure out the reason behind it breaking here, and then does it work again if we run it again? No, okay, so it really does not like this post. It doesn't like this image. What did I change? I mean, obviously I deleted post service. We loop through each image. We try to upload the image. I guess let's make sure the file is showing up. System.out.println files.size. Let's make sure the file's showing up real quick. I don't think it's a permissions issue. So let's see. Let's make sure there's a file in there. There's one file. Now I'm guessing this isn't gonna work, but what if we say get 0 pickups? Goodness. Let's see what this does. Yeah, okay, of course. I knew it was gonna do something stupid like that. Alright, so... Let's see inside the image service. Let's see what the exception is. Print stack trace. Let's see what this error says. And let's go into our post service and comment out this one. So let's figure out why the post is breaking. I mean, I know it's because it can't save the image, but IO exception, the file name, directory name, or volume label is incorrect. Well, this is because this should be a string post. That makes sense. Okay. Cool. Let's refresh. I don't think I've scuffed anything, so let's try to create a post again. There we go. Now our localhost post yada yada yada. And theoretically, you should be able to go to /images like this. Be able to click on that. As long as I put footer here, /post and hit enter. 404 not found. Well, I put footer in the wrong place. If I put footer here, /images should pop up the image. Voila, it works. Don't save that. Now let's try to make sure that we can upload up to 4 images and not break. So first off, we can delete this. We can delete this. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab this entire guy and put it back in. Whoops. Grab this guy and put it into our code here. Now that we've got this fixed up, post service, paste, and then the post controller. I don't think we changed anything in the post controller. I don't think so, but I'll copy and paste it. Anyway, so come back into post controller, set that up. Now let's go ahead and just make sure that we can upload 4 files. So let's go back into post. So we should be able to upload up to 4 files. Who knows what's in here? Let's grab this guy, I don't know, this guy, and this guy. We got 4 files selected. We go into our H2 console, which is probably going to kick us out of. Anyway, hit password, hit images. We should have like 1 image. Oh, it might have restarted. Oh yeah, it restarted. So let's go ahead and try to upload the images. Ooh, interesting. Max upload size. Okay, so this is something that we need to fix. So we need to look into this. So Spring Java, I guess, has a max file size. So let's look at how to set that or reset that. So let's say Spring Web set max, and this is going to be, what's this called? What was the error? Max files or media size or max file limit or something. So Spring Web set max file size in request. So request is set to 128 total. Is there a way to change this? Doesn't look like you can tune it, or can you? Or is this a setting that they set in the, let's see. They don't have an application properties here. Oh, okay, so we can set it to whatever we want. I don't know what Twitter's file size is. Twitter image file size restriction can be up to 5 megabytes. 15 megabytes on web. So that means we need to set it to 20 megabytes, basically. So we want to set Spring Servlet multi-part max file. Our max file size is 5 and request size is 20 because we want up to 20 basically. I don't know what it's going to be for videos. So that's something I'd have to deal with. So now we need to update our application.properties and throw this in here. So the max file size would be 5 megabytes. And the max, this size will be 20 megabytes. And let's see if this works. I don't know if it's actually going to work or not. We need to 16 update the application.properties to accept larger file uploads. So that's a good thing that we found that. So fingers crossed this works. I mean, That's pretty big files to be sending around, but Twitter allows us to do that, and I should probably check the size of those files. I have no clue how big they are, so we'll see if it still says too big. Nope, it worked. We got all 4 files. Now if we go into here, and that's something we can restrict on the front end as well to make sure that they don't give us ones that are too big, I'm fairly certain. So we shouldn't have to worry about that. Connect, and if we go into our images and hit enter, you can see we have post blah blah blah, and these all point here. What we'd probably want to do at some point is make these basically be stored on the back, not on the back end, but like in an S3 bucket or something like that. But obviously I don't have the money to be spending on S3 right now, so we're not doing it on S3, maybe in the future. So I think that basically does everything. I think, unfortunately, I shouldn't say unfortunately, I think we're going to go back to front-end dev in the next live stream, and there's might be some stuff that I do quote-unquote off camera or off stream. We'll see. But the idea is I definitely want to set this stuff up because this is a couple of broken things on the front end there, and then we can figure out the floating divs and stuff. But this will probably be a decent sized episode right here, all of this Java stuff, so I'll try to record that as soon as I can. There's a lot of stuff in here, but I don't think it's actually as bad as it looks. But I'm pretty excited about this, and I can also do some research about bring data accept videos, and we can figure out how to do that. It's probably also a multi-part file. Spring, actually it should be Spring Web send video file. And this might also just be multi-part, and it might not even that bad, so we can maybe look for like dot whatever, and then we can also have like a videos. We might have to make like a video upload thing, and figure that out. But yeah, so we'll do that. I think unfortunately this is a little bit shorter stream, but I got everything I wanted done today, and I don't want to go too far or too much deeper, so I am going to probably call it here. Again, anyone who's watched to this point, I appreciate you. Keep an eye out for more streams and stuff. Keep an eye out for more and more content coming soon, and I've got some big things in the works, so I'm excited for that, and fingers crossed I can get a job soon. So have a great day, morning, night, whenever you guys are watching this, and I'll see you guys in the next video or the next live stream.